earlier today, and I thought it was dead on, is that we were always in the pursuit and taught that perfection is our only goal as a physician. There is no, and if we don't have perfection, we feel that we screwed up somehow. You know, whether you can't make diagnosis, patient dies, they get an infection, they have an amputation, whatever that is.
Yeah.
So we never knew how to deal with that. And to put that in perspective, if you look back, nobody in healthcare thinks it's appropriate to seek help. If so, you're opening yourself up to credentials committee or malpractice or whatever. So mental health, as it was labeled, or whatever you want to call burnout, you couldn't pursue help. And so in theory, that's what drove Rhonda to start a company such as this, for physicians to coach other physicians to say, you know, you're not perfect, and maybe we can help you see a way out of that as we see it for ourselves. So and that's where I see this, what we're doing here and how we can drive the change. And you take a young person like Jennifer, who already recognizes that, and then you take an old goat like me and go, geez, we didn't even know what we were calling it, but we all experienced it. I think it's a good start. And I love that she put and I agree with you, Des, to put a follow-up to your follow-up on your article, because it sounds like, and I didn't read your article, I will now, but that this was prior to COVID. See, now COVID's just taken thing and made it a factor 10 times worse.
Yep.
So and when you hear 30-somethings that are talking about burnout, that just makes my heart twinge. I mean,
I was just getting my
career. We have a fatigue factor that's setting in now too. I mean, we've been at this now for going on 9 months now, and it's going to keep going. And we have a fatigue factor, which is compounding it. And so one of the bright spots that I read earlier today was that companies, healthcare companies, are starting to recognize that, and they are planning, because they're in their 2021 budgeting process right now, investing more into educational and support programs for their healthcare, their frontline healthcare workers. Will it be enough? I don't know, but just to have the acknowledgement and to see that this is a necessary item, I guess that's one thing that we can thank COVID for, is very abruptly tearing the veil off and exposing what needs to be looked at and what needs to be invested in.
Yeah, we touched on something too. The stigma of mental health are coming forward. Now, you know, if people have addiction problems, there are all these support networks. There's no shame, okay? And you're encouraged to step forward. There will be nothing held against you. Yet, you know, we still perceive some type of, you know, inability to cope with mental issues or mental health as having the stigma. And you know, so, and to come forward is a sign of strength. It's not a sign of weakness, but yet we have this mindset that you're going to be punished. We've got to do something. There's got to maybe a creation of some type of network, you know, just the way we've done with the addiction. It's like, enough with this bashing you know, we live in a crazy world.
There's a young cardiologist here, and we've all heard his name, but Jonathan Fisher, who works for one of the healthcare systems, who I think experienced it early on, and I'm gathering he's 50-ish. And you know, they have a whole program now that they've instituted with kind of him as a leader, and it's all about mindfulness. And you know, I don't know a lot about it now. You know, you can say, you know, taking deep breaths and all the stuff you talk about, but dealing with the physicians and allowing them to have an open corridor in whatever specialty to come to him and the guys doing it for some support. And I think that's an outstanding thing.
Well, it's normalizing. It's normalizing the situation and making it open. for open discussion. Des, to your comment, I think one of the things that we need to look at, it's not just the things, what Jonathan's doing is fabulous. I applaud it, and I can't wait for us to continue to participate with him. But I think it needs to become something much more ingrained in the process on how we approach training. And from day one, for medical students to not have this unrealistic expectation placed upon them and continue to be built throughout their training that perfection is the goal. It's not the goal. I was talking to someone who actually works closely with medical students, first year medical students, as a matter of fact. And one of the things that she does is from day one shares her top 5 mistakes and puts it out there that you will make mistakes. And it is unrealistic to think that you won't. And she does so because it is her way of opening the door for them, that she already knows they're going to make mistakes. She wants them to come to her when there is a mistake, and how do we work through this and do so appropriately so that all parties involved feel supported and secure. And that includes the patient. We talk with the patient about, all right, what got missed, or what was a near miss, and how are we going to proceed, which I think really lays a better groundwork going forward. But we've got to hardwire this into our process.
Which means we have to hardwire it not only at the student level, but in the practicing doc level too, because those are the docs who are conveying that message throughout the training process. Everyone mentioned in one way, shape, or form that we're held as physicians to this almost superhuman standard by society at large. And, instead of sending that message that we need to be perfect, that mistakes are not tolerated, that you are expected to have all the answers all the time for every situation, instill that ethic of hard work, instill that ethic of doing your best and putting your best self out there, but at the same time, making it realistic. Like you said, we are human. And I think as doctors, we feel like we've got this lead cape on us that, it's weighing us down. We're not superheroes.
Right. I call it white coat kryptonite. The minute they put the white coat on, that's the thing that, is their weakness.